Chilly weather. Casserole time. That's what we're looking for right now, is to get some hearty casserole recipes in your repertoire. And like I said, as soon as I saw what Angie Horkin was making, I was like, okay, I want to jump on this bandwagon today. So for my recipe today, I did it over COVID as a meal that we sold at Gather when we kind of started doing the at-home meals. And it was a big hit. But when I did the one through Gather, this was the base, but I did homemade biscuits over the top. But we're keeping life easy. And we're going to use canned biscuits, which are in the oven right now, just to make your life a little bit easier. But if you're in the mood to make real biscuits, feel free. But right now, this is my chicken broccoli cheesy casserole with the biscuits on top. And first, I'm gonna go ahead and start sauteing up some carrots and onion. So I have 2 carrots here that I'm chopping up, along with 1 medium yellow onion. Now, I gotta tell you what happened to me last night. It was the Christmas miracle that came in November, came early. Normally when I work at night at Gather, 2 things happen. Either the grandparents step in and feed the children, because my poor husband, he's not terribly gifted in the kitchen. I've seen him pour cereal. I've seen him make toast. He does pretty good. But last night he called me and said, do we have cheese for grilled cheese? I was immediately confused and answered, with slight hesitancy, and said, we do. And he said, do we have bread? I said, we have bread. We have butter. And he's like, okay. And then he said, I think I'm gonna make grilled cheese and tomato soup for dinner tonight for the kids. Now, I'm at Gather, and I answered, and I just looked at Maddie, because of course Maddie was with me, and I was like, what's that? It's a full moon. Something's happening. What is going on right now? And of course, I was like, I love that for you. And then I said, if you stop at the grocery store for soup, go to the deli section, because oftentimes they'll have hot soups there ready to go, and a lot of times they have tomato soup. And he's like, don't ruin my plan. I have a plan. Okay, so he stopped and got a couple cans of Campbell's tomato soup. He made it for the boys with some grilled cheese sandwiches. And wouldn't you know, that I came home and those boys, this was the best meal they've ever had. Little miffed, but at the same time, so proud. So proud of my husband last night. Now, the dishes weren't done. The kitchen's a little bit of a mess. I'm letting it go for the greater good. I would have had it cleaned up. That's fine. It's fine. It's fine. He's cooking, and I am not about to, not encourage the cooking for the children. I was very proud. So anyway, last night I taught a cooking class at Gather, and it was a baking class. So Maddie and I kind of teamed up. She did macarons, and I did these peppermint mocha cookies. I've made them for the past couple years, and they were such a huge hit. I brought in some leftover dough here this morning, made them. Good Day Wisconsin pounced on them like squirrel monkeys. I've never seen Rachel move faster in my life. I hope she's watching this. And now I have to make them on the show. So be ready in December for these peppermint mocha cookies. They're so good. All right, so my carrots are sinking down now, and they're cooking in 6 tablespoons of butter. And I know that seems like a lot, but we're gonna make our own roux. We're not gonna use any cans of soup to thicken this up. We're just gonna do it ourselves. So to this, let's go ahead and add in our onion. Get that kind of sauteing up in that butter. I know the Packer game wasn't a ton of fun last night, unfortunately, but I do like all the people who send us photos of what they made for the game. I love getting the emails in the morning saying, this is what we made. Recipes of yours. A lot of people yesterday, when they stopped to say hi during the food drive, were telling me, oh, I made this yesterday, or I made this last weekend of yours, and oh, it never gets old, I tell you what. Never gets old. All right, so now my onion and carrots cooking down in some butter. Let's soften these up a little bit. I'm gonna add a little pinch of salt. And next to me here, I have a 9x13 pan greased and ready for me to pour everything into. But first, let's get a little bit of the crunch off of these veggies. Now, on the side here, the broccoli doesn't need to go in here. The broccoli is just gonna go into the casserole. So I just cut the florets off. We keep this for stock. We keep it for, are we feeding the deer yet in your yard, Sarah? Okay. Are they broccoli lovers? Okay, oh, perfect. Sarah will make it into a slaw. For the deer? They're so fancy. She has a fine dining restaurant for her deer in her backyard. Just give these a rough chop and set to the side. And give another stir here. Ooh, that smells good. All right, I'm gonna do another one here. I just want you to use one large head of broccoli. We couldn't find any large ones, so Sarah grabbed 2 medium-ish ones. Give those a nice little chop. So I've done buttermilk biscuits on this show before. If you would, like I said, if you would rather serve this with homemade biscuits on the top, that's how I used to do it, but like everyone, those Pillsbury biscuits, boy, do they come in handy, and are they convenient? So we're gonna use these. Yesterday, I don't know if you saw the show yesterday when I had to open up a can of crescent rolls and it traumatized me. Sarah opened the biscuits for me. I'm okay. I'm okay today. All right, to our veggies here, I'm gonna add a little bit of nutmeg, and I'm gonna add a bay leaf in here. That's gonna add just a really lovely flavor. I know it doesn't seem typical, but just trust. All right, so now what I want to do, we'll give it another minute. Let me chop up the remaining chicken breast here. Just cooked chicken. Get me some cooked chicken. We got some chicken breasts here from Pelkin Smoky Meat. You just, whatever kind of chicken you got lying around, as long as it's cooked, if it's rotisserie, leftover grilled chicken, whatever you want to do. Shred it, cube it, I don't care. You do you, whatever you like. All right, I see this working down. All right, so now the veggies have softened up a little bit. Carrots are getting a little golden, starting to smell good. We're just really looking to give these a head start. We just want to get some of that crunch off of it. There's whatever vegetables you have laying around as well. If you have leftover mushrooms or anything like that sitting in your fridge with nothing to do, throw them in. It's good. This tastes almost like a cheesy broccoli soup, but you know, with chicken and biscuits on top. There's no starch in the actual casserole. There's no rice or noodles or anything. It's more like a stew almost with the biscuits on top that acts as the starch. All right, so now I'm feeling pretty good about these. I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle in, so we're making our own roux, so that's equal parts flour and fat. So we got 6 tablespoons of butter to 6 tablespoons of flour. And we're gonna really give that a good stir, make sure all of that flour gets coated in butter. While that's happening, I'm taking a peek in my biscuits here. Ooh, looking good. You know what, I'm gonna give those one more minute. So I want this to really kind of cook out. No pasty flavor. I can smell that nutmeg, and that nutmeg seems like an odd choice, but when we add the milk into it, it's gonna create a creamy sauce. Nutmeg with a creamy vegetable sauce is to die for, so really, really good. All right, so I'm gonna grab my biscuits out of the oven. I did this in a little bit of a backwards order because I wanted it to be ready for you to see on camera. But what I normally do is once, see those canned biscuits? They always get so nice and high, I love those. My kids love those. What I normally do is I make the whole base here. I put it in a 9x13, and then I throw it in the oven at the same time as to bake off some biscuits. That way it gets warmed all the way through and comes together, and the biscuits take like 10 minutes, but I wanted you to be able to see them. Okay, so now the flour has cooked out. We're gonna add some chicken broth in here. And we're gonna bring that up to a simmer. I'm gonna add another pinch of salt and pepper in here. And we're waiting for this to thicken up a little bit. Let that flour do the work that it's supposed to do. So it just takes a moment. This is a really cute dish, by the way. If someone did that thing where they gifted you cute little crocks or cute little big ramekins or things like that for individual dishes, pouring this into individual dishes and then topping each one with the biscuit is so cute. I'm just throwing that out there for you. Okay, now look at, I'm running my spoon through, which is showing you how that's thickening up on its own. That's what we're looking for. Let's go ahead and drizzle in our milk. We got our Lamer's milk here. That's gonna give it that nice creamy texture that we're looking for, that kind of creamy gravy texture we're looking for. I just do a little at a time. I don't like to shock the system. I like it to warm up all together. All right, a little bit more. And then to this, I'm gonna add in our broccoli as well. And that's just gonna cook right in the sauce. Like I said, broccoli doesn't take a lot, so we're gonna cook this right in. along with shredded cheddar. Some fresh shredded cheddar here from Simon's. They've got that award-winning cheddar. And now we just want to melt this all together. And don't forget the chicken. Get it all in. This is your casserole base. It's so easy. And if this is an oven-proof skillet, feel free to throw it all in the oven right now, just like this. Now, like I said, at home, at this point, I pour it into the dish and I bake it at the same time as I bake the biscuits. But I want to show you how this comes together. Just make sure this gets a good mix. I'm going to take out the bay leaf that infused in that stock. I'm happy with that. And now, see if I can do this without making a mess. We're gonna pour right in. Give that see how nice and thick and creamy that is? Put this in the oven along with your biscuits, but since I got mine done already, now you just do the plop. That's it. It is hearty, it's healthy with all of those veggies in there, white meat chicken. It's just a fantastic dish for every night. I love it. It's one of those that's stick to your ribs comfort food. All right, we got a great show for you today. Angie Horkin is keeping the casserole game rolling here a little later in the show. But first, Abby's going to be chatting with our favorite realtor, Stacey Hennessy, about housing market updates. So meet us back here after the break.